The Struggling Artist Record Club is a vinyl record subscription service where I hunt and curate the best punk and punk-adjacent music out there and mail their record to your door each and every month. Imagine finding your new favorite band from across the country without ever having to leave the house. It doesn't get much better than that. The excitement of discovering new music just got that much easier. As a member of the Struggling Artist Record Club, you are going to receive some of the best music you've ever heard from bands you may never even heard of. Whether you've been collecting records for years or just starting out, the Struggling Artist Record Club is designed specifically for you. And right now, all new members get a Struggling Artist Record Club exclusive along with the monthly selection. So head to StrugglingArtistRecordClub.com, pick a membership, and start building that collection today. I don't know who I was talking to in the email, but when I was like, can we do later on Sunday? Because last night I went down, I'm from Rhode Island originally, down like the westerly area, like the bottom. It's like the last town before you hit Connecticut at the very southern tip. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with Jesse Ahern or Lenny Lashley, but
yeah, totally.
Yeah, so they were playing in my hometown, and I'm like friends with them, and I was like, Jesus Christ, if when I was a kid, like if Dark Buster came to my town, I would have went fucking nuts, so so it was cool to go there and see them play in my hometown at this, like, it was like this, they did like a round table. It was like a storytelling music round table thing. There was four of them, four musicians, and they played a song and told a little story before and after and all that stuff. And
a round robin, as my buddy John likes to say.
Yeah, it was like a round robin. Yeah, it was pretty cool. I'd never done that before, and it was fun. And whenever I go home, like, I don't know, like I left home a long time ago because of, like, I just couldn't deal with the people there and shit. And like whenever I go home, I feel like something always happens when I go out. And like there was this drunk, and he was just loud. It was like almost like a heckler kind of thing going on. And it's not that, it wasn't like a real, it wasn't like a show, you know what I mean? Where everyone's talking and shit. So I was like, am I the one that has to get up and talk to this guy? So I got up and I was like, hey man, can you just keep it down a little bit? And like, he was like, oh yeah. But he ended up getting kicked out. They kicked him out a little bit later. So
yeah, when you got people like doing like the songwriter thing, it's like, and it's like a songwriter thing. You should try to be quiet, but I don't know. I've done that so many times, and a lot of people just yell.
Yeah. This guy, he got kicked. He was like harassing people at the bar and shit. So they ended up walking him. But it was a good time. That's why, because I stayed down there because I was like, I haven't seen my buddies in a while. So I had a few cocktails and I was like, I'm going to hang out down here. And so, but I appreciate you guys moving doing it in the evening time as opposed to.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, this works perfect for me.
Yeah. So anyway, there was a lot of shows yesterday I wanted to go to, and one of them was the one in Worcester. I knew a lot of people that went to that show. So that's was that Ralph's, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a cool little place.
That was my first time there. We actually had a show there. Like, was it this year or last year? It was this year, right? With No Trigger, and then it just.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, last year. Yeah, we were supposed to do it. Oh, the Humanity and No Trigger.
No Trigger.
And then it dropped.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool place. There's another place in Worcester too. It's like the last DIY venue. It's called the Hotel Vernon.
Yeah, I played there.
Yeah, the ship room. You played in the ship room.
That's an actual boat. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a cool place. So, but yeah, so so I was out of town last night, and you happened to be in town. Will, you were in town with another band, and but again, like I said, I appreciate you guys doing this. I kind of discovered you guys. I want to say it was the first record, and I want to say I don't remember if I had just bought it or if I got it in like a package thing through Andy at Sell the Heart. and I loved it right away. And yeah, and I've been following you guys ever since. So it was probably like 2021 or 2022 when I got that from him. So, but tell me about
Thank you.
Yeah, of course, of course. Andy's a great guy too. Like I've discovered a lot of music that a lot of it he puts out, but more so like other things too, just from like kind of being friendly with him. You know what I mean? So, but tell me about Neckscars. Like, so am I right to think like it was 2019 when you guys kind of got started?
2018, like late 2018.
Late 2018. Okay. And 2019 happened, and then 2020 happened, and it fucking everything up, right? So
we've been doing this thing almost 7 years.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the pandemic in the middle, like, you know, kind of softens it. But yeah, we it was like the end of 2018 that I started jamming with them. They were doing some stuff before, and I came in, I think, on like the second song or something like that. So there was only one or two songs, and then we like wrote the record in 2019. We started recording it, I guess, and then the pandemic happened, and then we had to go back and finish it, and then we released it in 2021.
So was the title "Don't Panic"? Was that originally the title, or is that because we didn't know what was going on with the world and you kind of threw that in there?
Well, originally we were like tossing up titles, and our old band, like, we all played in another band together prior called Game Day Regulars, so we never actually got to write a full length. So we were like, you know, we just just reaching for things, and we're like, yeah, what about this title, Indiana Limestone? And we were looking into stuff like that, and then like I was baked one night on my couch, and like I was looking on Instagram, and there's this kid I follow from the Hudson Valley, and he had this picture that says "Don't Panic." And I'm like, that's it. And I messaged him on Instagram, and I was like, hey, can I buy that photo from you? And he was like, I think this would be really cool for my band's record. And it just so happened we had a bunch of mutual friends, and he gave us the photo with, you know, he wanted a copy of the record when it was pressed.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
And but in return, we had him do our first press photos because he was in the area, and he's like, this guy Mike Manhop. Is that how you say his last name?
Yep, Mike Manhop. Yep.
Yeah, he is awesome photographer. So he did this and the other one, but I was like, you know, I think when something just clicks, and I was like, that has to be it. That's it.
Right on.
And funny enough, down the line, what was it? Someone emailed us that was.
Yeah, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. So like people, they're like that slogan goes with the Hitchhiker's Guide. So people that are into that, they found the album artwork, and they're like, "Oh, you guys like huge Hitchhikers fans?" And we're like, "No, but thanks for noticing." They're like, "Well, the music's good." So like we ended up like selling. Awesome. Yeah, so we ended up actually selling some records through that. And I think the people that own the place, the people that own that house on the cover, they reached out to us, and they're like, "Hey, we noticed you use this on your record," and they're like, "That, you know," they were cool about it, and yeah, we sent them a record too.
That's awesome. Yeah. So you guys kind of indirectly became part of the lore of the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Yeah,
totally.
That's cool. I like it. Yeah, because I was thinking about it today, because I was seeing when the album released, and kind of like when you guys got started, at least on like releasing stuff on Bandcamp, and I'm like, I wonder if that was like shit, we don't know what's going on with the world. We just got this band. Let's not panic, and you know what I mean? Like, let's not panic.
Yeah, it was that was totally it. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. When did you record those songs? Like, and with that, like, when were they written? When did you guys write these songs?
Well, like I said, I think they were written in 2019. When did we record it? I got the record right here, actually. Hold on.
Yeah, I started. Me and Craig were talking about the original drummer. We're talking about starting something, and then Colin was in the area, so we started jamming, and then naturally I was like, all right, let's get the band back together with another drummer and do something different. But
that's cool.
Yeah, and it was definitely it got broken up in pieces, the recording process. We record up at Nada Recording in Montgomery, New York, which is Orange County.
Okay. Yeah.
And,
what brought on like the other band kind of just going like kind of fizzling or whatever?
Years ago, I had this band called Game Day Regulars, and I knew Justin and Colin from like playing shows like 20 years ago. And I don't know, like we were at Fest one year. It was like the second time we were playing Fest, and I don't know, we were looking for members. Like, it's funny, several of the bass players that were in Game Day Regulars ended up joining Candy Hearts, so we couldn't like keep a bass player.
Yeah.
So Justin came on board, and then our other bass player Greg just didn't show up one day, and we got Colin, and then when that just fizzled out, it was just like really hard to, it was just really hard to like
no momentum.
It wasn't like, I don't know, and I guess like the band was playing like 9 songs for like 10 years. We never wrote music, so
yeah.
I don't know. I think for me personally, this was like it was really good to have like a really good writing team. We all like we're focused on like, prior to Game Day Regulars, I hadn't made a full length in like my old hardcore band back in like the early 2000s. So I like, putting out 2 like full lengths for me was like in like the last 6.5 years is, I guess that's pretty much a big personal goal accomplishment.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It definitely had to do with like, I did a lot of projects with members I've done other bands with. So that's something I needed to change for me.
Okay.
And,
yeah.
Yeah. We also like didn't have to like stay in the box. When we were in like Game Day, it was like, oh, this needs to sound like Game Day. And then when we did Neckscars, we were like, there's no rules. We could literally just do a bunch of different stuff. And we have multiple songwriters bringing in different ideas. Like, it just goes through like the Neckscars machine. So it's like all like just filtered, and then it doesn't matter what type of song we bring. At the end of the day, it still sounds like our band because it's it's Will's vocals, and we're the way I play and the way Colin plays, and whatever. Once it goes through the filter, it's just so.
Yeah, it's definitely for me personally. I think like I've been able to like really like not care about that sort of stuff anymore, and like, all right, let's make like a now I'm like, you guys want to make like a country like swing record, like I'm like, and they're like, let's try it. It could be anything. You want to sound like Pelican this one? Justin's like, this Pelican album rules. I'm like, let's do it.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's it feels like, so to me it seems like the chemistry was through the creativity that kind of changed the vibe, right? That
totes. Yeah, absolutely.
For me personally, I needed to play with, like, I needed a different environment than what I was normally used to, and like even like playing with like our old drummer Craig was like, I was really like, he didn't play like any other drummers, and sometimes I was like, this is so different feel, but he was such a great drummer, and he was always like very open-minded. Like all these, I'm the only one that wasn't open-minded ever. So everyone's pretty much open-minded. So even things that I think are like, oh, that's weird, I don't know if that I like that, but I end up loving it,
So what changed for you to kind of just the environment?
Yeah, the environment, like I said, I played like in prior projects, I played with pretty much a lot of the same people, and and even like when you're writing music that's like in a box, I guess it starts, even maybe you're not saying it to yourself, but it's starting to get a little stale.
Mm-hmm.
So this is kind of exciting. This was kind of exciting, Like we had this one song, Passive Aggressive Pickup Trucks, and the way it like started with the riff ended up being like probably one of my favorite songs on Unhinged.
Yeah.
It's just because, I think we all grew up listening to like, like kind of like, old hardcore, or it's got that vibe to it. And it's so, it's just, I think for me, becoming more open-minded was a big part of like growing for me with this band.
That's right. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Keeps it fun
like,
too.
That was like the first or second single, right? That came out for this record?
Yeah, that was the first one we dropped. Yeah,
it was the first one? Okay, yeah.
We dropped it on Election Day, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I was into it. I remember it dropped. The first 2 singles that dropped, I like snagged them right away, and I was like, oh yeah, this is good. And I think I might have even like hit you guys up on Instagram or something, or like tagged you in a story, and I was like, and I put up the song, and I'm like, I catch what's going on here or something.
Oh,
like
right on. Hell yeah.
The second song, by the second one that dropped, I was like, all right, I like this. No, that's cool. That's cool. Now, for Unhinged, like, what was the time frame of writing? Because this is one of the things I actually wrote down, and it kind of makes sense that you guys are just like, hey, we threw all the rules out the window, like we do whatever. Because I kind of felt like from a writing standpoint, like there was two different kind of like vibes to the first album to the sophomore album. So like, kind of like, was there a different headspace for writing this one, or is it Yeah.
So I said to everybody, I was like, all right, we got to write LP2. We put out a split with Moonraker. We threw out like stuff here and there, like covers and whatever. And I was like, this was like a lot of the ideas initially on Don't Panic were stuff that I brought to the table. So I said to everybody bring 4 songs. And then we all talked about the idea of going to a music retreat house. So we got a music retreat house up in, is that Ithaca?
Ithaca, yeah. We rented out basically at like an Airbnb studio in Ithaca, like rehearsal studio, not recording studio. And we just locked ourselves in this house for like 3 days while it was just like a blizzard outside, and it was pretty sick.
Tell me about that. Like, cause like I write, and like I've always wanted to go away and write, and like I spent a year living right outside of Pittsburgh, and I felt like I did a lot of writing there because I was in a real negative. It was during COVID too. Like I got there like a few months before COVID happened, and like so like for me, like I didn't know if it was because of the headspace I was in, or if like that was kind of, I always called it like, like when you do the peyote and like go for a walk in the desert or whatever. That's what my time down there. I felt like that's what my time was there. You know what I mean? So like getting like a house to go to and like have this goal for this specific place. And it's sometimes we need to take ourselves out of our own comfort zone to get that writing, right? Like, so tell me about like how it was there,
Yeah, like we weren't getting like like a momentum thing. Like we had band practices that were like 2 hours, 3 hours, and we saw the songwriting like just not really going where we needed it. It was like, okay, like we had like 2 songs for like after like 5 months we only had like 2 songs written. We're like, all right, we have all these ideas, we got to put them together. So we all put together like some kind of demos, and like some people take it further. Like Colin's demos will be like fucking soup to nuts, right? Like straight up, like he'll have 2 guitar parts, bass, programmed drums, and you could literally just learn his song. And then like for somebody like me, I'll literally have just like guitar and that's it. And then will go like somewhere in the middle where he's got that and like some vocal melodies. So we got up there, we had like an idea, of what we wanted to do, but we were like, no, we need to have like at least 8 more songs like after this retreat. So we just locked ourselves in and just ripped through it.
I recorded everything like live, like demos to like on like Logic, and set up a mic in the room and played for like 12 hours, like 10 hours with breaks, like until we couldn't play. We're like, it was like 4 days, and we were just like, yeah. And then it was definitely like a bit of like, somewhat of like, we always like hung out. So we were like, after hours, we were sitting outside, like making food, drinking bourbon, listening to the coyotes howl all night.
That's cool.
It was awesome. And you couldn't really, you had to drive like 15 to 20 minutes to get anywhere. So
yeah, I like that.
That's all was there. So
I think due to like movie culture and stuff, like that idea is like embedded in my, just to get away with like a bunch. It's like the Big Chill moment. You know what I mean? I don't know if you've ever seen that movie, but like, like when everyone gets back together, the reunion story is always good for me. Like, so yeah, that's cool. I like that whole idea. So would you do it again?
Yeah.
That's
almost
cool.
Kind of have to now.
Did you accomplish everything you wanted to at this thing?
Yeah, oh yeah. We got out of there. Like I said, I think we had two on the table, and then I think we wrote like another eight, and then like when we got back after that, we wrote two more, and I think when we went to the studio, we recorded right off the rip. We did like 11, and then we came back for the final song, which I think was Dual Roads. I think that was the last one we recorded.
Yeah, and I had a demo of that prior, like years before. That was like
Yeah, yeah.
over 4 minutes long, and I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? And I'm like, yeah, this is weird. And then, that's the whole thing. I'm like, yeah, this sucks. And then the guy's like, no, that was a cool riff, and it's, I don't know, that song like kind of wrote itself. Like right after that, like we started jamming on it. That was a quick one. Another one was what's this? What's it called? We used to call it Clown Shoes.
I'll kind of NFS.
That one wrote itself like
Right
pretty
on.
quickly.
I see you guys have a video out for Manor Mooch. I checked it out. So here's the thing. I just recently got into, I don't know, I'm not even really good at it, but like Reddit, trying to figure out what the fuck Reddit is, and I just typed in like Neckscars into Google, and that was like one of the first things that popped up under
Really? That's sick.
under like listen to this. And yeah, and I I don't know if this is going to be a new thing with the podcast, because if it's like something negative, I don't want to bring it there. But this has got someone wrote instant playlist ad. So
Sick.
yeah, that's pretty cool, right? It's got like the I don't know, the arrows up thing. That's a good thing, I think. So
Yeah. I would always say that about like a song I really liked. I would tell like my friends, would be like, yeah, that's the mixtape song. That's the song. Yeah, that's the song you put on the mixtape.
Right on,
Yeah.
right on. Now, so yeah, let's kind of like, I want to talk about the video. Like, is that one of your guys' boats? Where was it? Where were you guys? Where were you guys?
Nah, it's
Will, is your shirt supposed to have water on it like that whole time, or?
yeah, I think that was sweat. It was really hot.
I bet it was hot. I bet you were wearing a cape, dude. Of course it was hot.
Yeah, it was really hot. My coworker, my friend Des, and her husband, they have a boat. They live in Greenwich, Connecticut, and I work right outside of it. And they have a boat, and in Stamford, Connecticut. And I was like, yo, like, I know you're on the boat every summer. I'm like, yo, you think me and my band could like come by and just shoot a video on your boat? So like, of course. Like, I was like, yeah. So we get there, and like, dude, it was almost like we were at like a real video shoot. She had like snacks and our charcuterie board, and like a boat is filled with beers, and she
You had
was
craft
like, yeah.
services. That's awesome.
And she was like, just yeah, and we just like had our buddy Zach come, so it was cool. And then we went to Colony Grill Pizza after.
But yeah, I was like on the train one day, like by myself on the train, and I had my headphones on, and I think I was listening to that new Pelican record. I was going to a show, and I was just by myself, just getting bombed on the train by myself, and I started like, quick way to pass the time is just start like, texting and thinking, and I was like, I don't know, I had this idea of us with like crowns and capes, like on like I originally said like pedal boats. You know what I mean? Like that'd be funny if like we were in there just like pedaling, and Will's like, no. He's like, we could go on Dez's boat like in Stanford, and then we showed up, and I was like, oh my god, this is insane. Like,
Yeah.
and then we kind of did like Step Brothers vibes. You know what I mean? On a boat. That was
Boats and hose or whatever.
Yeah, boats and hose. Yeah, exactly. But that's kind
awesome.
of the vibes we were going for. But yeah, I don't know. I had this like vision in my head when I was drinking on the train, like this is what the video should be. And then yeah, we filmed it in a day.
So Will, you were driving the boat. That wasn't a stunt man, right? That was you.
No, it was on autopilot, but I was driving the boat.
Yeah, right.
I haven't taken a boat like this since I was like 18. My friends used to drive a launch boat at in the City Island like yacht club, Morris Yacht Club, and they'd be like, yeah, you could drive this launch boat in the middle of the same water, Long Island Sound.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was cruising on that boat.
That's awesome. That's
a nice boat.
Yeah. So you guys are from New York City, right? You guys are out of New York City. What part?
Bronx.
The Bronx.
He's the only one that's like New York City proper. Like Colin and I grew up in Putnam County, and then I ended up.
I was from Westchester.
Colin's from Westchester. I'm from Putnam County.
You're from Putnam County.
Yeah.
Colin owns a house in Westchester. He's like, he's probably like 20 minutes from Will, and I'm up in Dutchess County now, which is like 90 minutes north of the city. So I'm like a little less than an hour from Colin's house. So that's kind of like our meeting spot.
Which direction are you? Like what highway would you go?
I take the Taconic, 84,
Okay.
84 the Taconic.
84. Yeah. I know 84 pretty well.
Yeah, Newburgh Beacon Bridge. That's it.
Yeah. Okay. So, and I actually now that I had written this down because I haven't been to this town in years, but you guys did a show this summer in Beacon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's Beacon like now? So when my buddy moved there. I moved him from Yonkers to there.
Yeah,
And-
very close to Yonkers.
Yeah, and I was like, I was up there. I went up there a few times to visit him, and it was like this, like it was like a mecca for hipsters at the time.
Yeah,
And
what
they-
year?
Oh man, this was probably 2015, maybe 2016.
Oh, cool, because Will and I lived in an apartment in 2015 in Beacon.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So apparently, I guess it was like it was like somebody like who was from there like threw a bunch of money at it and grew the town to what it was or whatever.
Yeah, and it's a lot different now too.
It's a lot different now. You see, you like when we lived there, it was like Saturday night was like there might be something going on Main Street, and now it's like Saturday night, everyone's out.
Yeah.
Like you drive down, it's awesome because it's like there was not like in Beacon like places were open like Thursday to Sunday, like Mondays and Tuesdays were closed. Now it's like everything's open. It's I actually love when I get to go up there because it's even though Max is gone and I love that place. That's the only thing I miss. But
is the Doctor Who restaurant still there?
Ooh, Pandorica. I don't know. I never ever went there. Ever.
Yeah.
And
That's what I remember. That the thing that, and there was like I felt like there was a parade there every weekend I went up. Like it was.
There was this. They had the Spirit of Beacon Day. That's in September. That's like in a few.
Wasn't there a brawl?
Oh God, I don't know.
There was a brawl. I think at
the,
some point. Like
the car show. They got a lot of stuff. I
remember there was like a dog parade one time I was up, and it was just like everybody. There was just like people just walking their dogs in the middle of the street. It was cool. I don't know. I liked it there. Like if it wasn't so far away from like everything else that I needed to be near, I probably would have like went up there. But he's moved back to Rhode Island since then. But I'll never forget my first time going there, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, and I'm like, how did you find this place? It was just like. He was just researching shit, and that's where they ended up moving, So.
Yeah, our buddy Zach that filmed the Man or Mooch video, he was like grew up in Beacon, and we were friends with him, and we saw like the town changing, like when we would go visit him. So we'd go up there to like visit and just hang out, and eventually we're like, yo, Zach, let's like find a cheap apartment. We ended up living above a bar, and we were paying like, I think it was like $750 a month, like. It was like insane. Like we're like, it was just awesome. Now I actually live like 2 blocks from that same spot where we used to live. So
okay. So you're pretty close there still.
Yeah.
Do you know Mike Susi from? He plays in Her Head's on Fire, and he's in the band The Methadones. He grew up in Rhode Island.
I don't think so.
But I was hanging out with him we stayed at last year at Fest that we had the same Airbnb, and he's like, yeah, I went to Beacon. He's like, I went to this awesome bar, and he shows me a picture, and I'm like, we lived upstairs.
That's funny.
It's the greatest bar. I'm like, it wasn't the greatest bar. It was cool that we lived on top of a bar, but it was not the greatest bar.
Yeah, it's small world stuff, man. You know what I mean? Like just how small the world is. That's cool. This is funny because this is the second time I've talked about Beacon on this podcast. So
really?
It's like, yeah, I forgot who I was. I was talking to the guys in Trouble Bound. And
of course, yeah.
Johnny.
Yeah. I had those guys on. Their episode will drop in a couple weeks from the night of this.
Those guys are fantastic. I actually got their record.
Yeah.
We played with them in Poughkeepsie. Was that our first show this year?
That might have been.
Yeah.
Is that the one with Scott from DCPC that was there?
Yes.
Yeah. He's an awesome guy too.
Yeah,
I
dude.
like him.
That was a really great show. He does it right.
Yeah, Scott's awesome. He's for the scene. You know what I mean? He's
And no matter what city he's in, like he's moved around the country. He's been in Florida. He's from DC. You know what I mean? So wherever he goes, he brings he helps either revitalize or brings it to them. You know what I mean? So he's a great dude. I'm friends with him, and we talk, and I help him with his podcast and stuff like that. So
badass.
Yeah. So it's all like I said, and again, like I always talk about how like a lot of people talk about like the scene where they live and this and that, but like I'm like, this is bigger than that. This is a community that stretches. You know what I mean? Because like
for real,
you know, I met Scott because of a podcast / record label like networking group, and we became friends. And like, you know, and he's not all that far from me now. Like he's probably about 2 hours from where I live now. So, you know,
yeah, there wasn't one question about how many people can you draw, and the show was awesome.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
Just, I mean, his heart's in the right place, and he does a great job. And
that dude's still like boots on the ground, handing out flyers, putting up flyers. Like he's still old school about it, and he does well with it. I think a lot of people could take kind of like a lesson from that. Like there is still a need for like the physical kind of like promotion of it, you know?
Yeah, I did that for the Beacon show too. It's kind of like one of those things. Like I remember when I first moved to Beacon, people were like, "Yeah, no, it's kind of just word of mouth, you know." And I was like, "Nah, fuck that." I was like, "I don't care. Like I'm still going out. I'm gonna annoy people with flyers outside of shows and you know like stuff like that." And
hell yeah, if you're gonna put up flyers for a dog parade, you can put up flyers for a show. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
That's cool, man. That's cool. So like. Yeah, so I definitely had like a different vibe for Unhinged than I did for Don't Panic. But like you said, like I could definitely tell that it's Neckscars, right? I think that's the key element. Once you find like that's like the cheat code, right? To be able to kind of spread out the vibe of an album and still keep it yours. Because I'll say, even like you guys have like a Misfits cover on your Bandcamp, and
yes,
and again, like that's one of the best Misfits covers I've ever heard. It's and like to a point where I was just like, how do I know this song? Like, because it was just playing, you know what I mean? And like it just didn't register for like till like halfway through the song. I'm like, this is a fucking Misfits song, like you know, because I hadn't heard it before from you guys, so I was just like. I was like, how come I've heard this song, but like I don't remember seeing this on their Bandcamp, and you know, so I think that's a cool element to have, and I feel like I don't think it's a rare thing, but you don't see a band as often to be able to kind of like stretch like the almost like the sound of a song to make it and still make it their own. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, our buddy Craig, he plays in a band called Hidden Cabins, and he was like, "That's the college rock version of the Hybrid Moments." So I was like, "All right, I'll take it."
I like that.
The college rock version. I was like,
right on, man.
Yeah, right somebody just told me the same thing too. They're like, "Oh my god!" They're like, "I'm so sick of Misfits covers," and they're like, "That's a good one." And I was like, "Really?" I was like, okay, all right, I'll take it. We recorded that with Don't Panic. That was the same recording session. That was like a left, like while we were there, we're like, oh, let's record a cover while we're here, and we dropped that before the album. On I think it was like New Year's Day or something. Like yeah.
Right on. That's cool. Yeah. So I mean, real quick, I just want to take a look at just the track listing here real quick. I mean, you've guys got 12 songs on Unhinged, and it's just like, I don't think there was one tune where I was kind of like, this is all right. Everything was good. You guys put out a really good record. And I don't know if it was from going and locking yourselves away in a little studio Airbnb or not, or just like you guys, like I said, you threw the rules out the window before you wrote the first one. So, yeah, I think you guys, I'm really excited to hear what comes next from you guys. You know what I mean? Like I get real excited sometimes about like, and I know this one just came out and I'm going to be listening to it for a while, but like I'm always anxiously awaiting the next thing from a band, you know?
well, we got something coming out on Friday, so.
Do you really?
Yeah,
Is that this Friday? Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
We have something coming out this Friday. We're on a split, a Sell the Heart record split with 7 bands,
Wow.
and they've been dropping singles on it. So ours is coming out, and it's like limited run.
And this is the song Unhinged. That's not on the record.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. Andy from our label, he was like, I don't know, man. He's like, it's gonna confuse people. Like, do you have to name the song Unhinged? Like, can you name? And I was like, nah, man. I was like, bands do that all the time. Like, I remember, No Effects dropped "Pump Up the Volume." The song was on Punkorama 5. That was never on the record. Propaganda did like Potemkin City Limits was on the record after the album Potemkin City Limits. So like bands do that a lot. I always think it's kind of
I like
cool.
That. I kind of like because well, here's the thing, like a compilation to me, they're mainly for two things: one, to raise money for something, or to like let people kind of sample what a bunch of bands are doing, right? And then from there, and that they're gonna remember that the Neckscars song was called Unhinged. Oh, look, they have an album called Unhinged. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think that's two ways for them discovering your album, I feel like.
Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, so.
I like that. I like that a lot.
So we recorded that one in Philly at Creep Records. That was the first time we recorded, well, technically the second time we ever recorded anywhere besides Nada. So it was cool for us to go somewhere else, and like we were kind of like always in like the Nada, like, okay, we know we can record there and sound good, and it was cool to finally go somewhere else and just be like, all right, we are good. We went somewhere else and recorded a song that sounds good. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Yes. Creep Records has a couple record stores in Philadelphia, and I work with the actual Creep Records label. So we did 100 records on the Neckscars imprint, which is called Cobra Cafe. Creep has a Cobra, but we're like the imprint of it. So we did our own portion of it as partnered onto that record, along with Sell the Heart and Engineer Records. So
right on. Okay.
It was a cool thing for us to do that, and like, you know, it was really great that Andy would, you know, was like, yeah, I would love for you guys to, you know, partner into this, and
yeah.
So
we're
gonna put out Justin's solo album next.
Was that right on?
Justin's solo album next is
yeah, right.
I'm buying him a scalloped neck. He's gonna do his mouth stream.
The mouth stream.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Instrumental record.
Was with the first record, because I don't know if you guys knew this or not, but like I have a record club that I like a subscription service, and I had bought I think it was the second pressing of the first record for the record club. And so was that kind of split up too, or was that all just Sell the Heart for the second pressing?
No, that was Sell the Heart. We did the purple and clear.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
No, that was the same thing. This one was basically like when we were talking to him about like, you know, releasing it. It was just kind of our way of, you know, just getting more records and like, you know, having that stock, right? You know, like you know, it kind of takes a lot of the weight off of you know, their shoulders when we're buying more of the records, because they, you know, like it's easier for everybody to break even when there's more people there, you know what I mean? And like we don't have to worry about like being like, hey Andy, we need more records, you know, we're about to go on tour, we need more records. It's kind of like, you know, right off the rip we're like, no, let's get more made, so like we actually have some stock. So
Andy's really great with all that. He was like, yeah, it would, you know, it's really awesome. It was awesome because right off the bat, like we didn't even like, this was like the first time we knew who this record was going to come out with. It was like, it was a great feeling, as opposed to like, all right, let's send some emails out and let's see who's going to not respond. But you know, we were, Don't Panic was like, you know, in our eyes, like successful, and Andy was like really happy with it, and like and he was great to work with. He's become like a dear friend to us, and so naturally it was like, yeah, why are we gonna try to do anything else? We're really happy here. It's a really great feeling.
That's awesome.
To have that support.
And everybody that I know that works with Andy, they all love him. You know what I mean? So yeah, he's a good guy. I've had him on the podcast, and like I've had a bunch of bands. He's really good at selecting bands, I think, because like I only put bands on my podcast that I like, and there's been quite a few from that world. You know what I mean? And I've used and not like directly either. Like it wasn't even like I meant to use him as many times as I have, because like I'll buy bands. Like I just bought a run of records from a band from Sell the Heart. I can't release the name right yet because the record hasn't shipped yet. But actually, you know what? By this time it will. Yeah. All right. So Little Low. I just bought a run of
sick. Yeah.
I just bought a run of Little Low for the record club, and you know what I mean. And yeah. So like it's funny how it's kind of like and I've like the Sammy K's record. I got Sammy K from Sammy K, and and Andy had put that record out. You know what I mean? So like, there's all these again, like these like this networking thing that's going on that it wasn't even like I'm gonna use Sell the Heart X amount of times a year. It just happened to be like that was the record I wanted, and okay, you know, I got it from Sammy, but it was Sell the Heart that put it out. So
Sammy put out a record for us during COVID. He had a label when he was living in Bakersfield. I used to be in his band.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, if he calls me and like, hey, you want to hang out for a couple of days? I usually, if I'm around, I'll do it. Like but he did a lathe cut of Born Sick, and it had the acoustic version.
Yeah.
Inside and that because he had this like lathe cut label he was doing for a minute, and he did that for us. It was awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, so I like again, I like how that's why I call this thing a community, right? Like it just like everyone kind of. But yeah, and I know like everyone loved the record, the first record from the record club. So
sick. Thanks.
I think when I send out the next email blast, I'm gonna let them know that you guys have a new one out. So maybe they can a couple of them, because I know a couple of them like really liked it. So
awesome.
Yeah, man. It's like one of those things. Like I don't know if you guys know this either. I kind of been chasing you guys for a little bit, trying to get you on the podcast. So
yeah, I know. It's weird because all three of us run like the Instagram, so it's like if somebody sends you a message and then somebody else might reply, and we're just like,
oh, trust me. I used to have a producer who took care of the social media, but like I would help with like the messages too, and like how many times messages just go by. The way it said, and I knew I'd make it happen eventually. Like, and I got in Andy's ear at one point. I'm like, hey, let these guys know I'm coming for them. Like,
yeah.
So, but yeah, man, I just want to like your record. The new record's awesome. I love the first record. What's your guys' touring like? Do you guys have any shows coming up?
We're doing the fest. We're playing. There's a band on Sell the Heart. Called Cross Keys.
Mm-hmm.
We're playing there at Ortlieb's in Philly on the 20th of this month. They're live recording with them, Calling Hours, and
Town Wire.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's going to be a great show. Then the 27th, us, Jukebox Romantics. What's From Parts Unknown? Is that what they're called?
Yeah, From Parts Unknown. They're sick.
Mm.
Yeah, they're from Texas.
That sounds familiar.
Great band.
They sound familiar.
Yeah, they're awesome, and we're playing Yonkers Brewery, and I don't know, we're kind of our drummer is also in another band called Tired Radio,
mm-hmm.
and
I just saw them for the first time, and they blew me away. Yeah,
they're so good.
Yeah,
so we got to figure out our plans for next year, and we're gonna. I don't know. We have some ideas in mind. Want to hit some other parts of the country. We've never played Massachusetts, right, Justin?
Never.
So we're gonna. I gotta hit up the Little Low people, see if they can hook us up in Mass.
Yeah. What's the other band? Unsimiliar.
Yeah, great band.
Oh,
so good. So good. Yeah, Andy.
I just had Mike on recently, and we talked about we did the Unseemlier band for that one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's such a good record. Yeah, Andy's like knocking it out of the park this year. Not that he hasn't in previous years, but like I don't know, like between them. I don't know if you saw like the fest lineup, but like that night that we're playing, the Saturday night at Lucy's, it's like all Sell the Heart bands. So
Yeah,
it's
he's got a. Yeah, I saw that he had a ton of bands this year.
so it's like them, and then it's like Oh the Humanity. They're another mass band. They're sick.
I
Awesome,
love those
but
guys.
Yeah.
That's in my top 5 of my favorite Sell the Heart records. Probably that record's probably one of my top 10 of this year.
It's so good. Yeah.
Yeah, Kevin sent it to me when it was just like mastered, and I was, because we're buddies, and I was like, this is so good. And
Yeah.
like Trevor killed it on the recording's great, and the pack, the whole thing's great though. I got 2 variants.
I went on like this whole like there. So the was it the cover album? That's the old drive-in theater. It was either a cover or just one of the releases of like one of the single releases, and I wanted to talk about that because I'm like, it looks like this drive-in theater that used to be up the road from me. And he was like, oh, well, this is what it was called. And it was that one. It burnt down since the picture was taken. But I was like, oh, that's the one. Like, it was funny how it just kind of came back around. You know what I mean? Like, it was cool talking with him and stuff like that. So, well, listen, if you guys play Massachusetts, let me know. If you need help trying to find a place, let me know. I could probably give you.
I'll definitely hit you. So you're like in the middle between like Boston and Worcester, you said, or
Worcester and Providence. Worcester and Providence. Yeah. But I'm in like Boston and north of Boston a lot for shows. So like I've met a few people over the last couple of years, you know what I mean? So,
after last night, I'd love to get back to Ralph's. That place is awesome.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun at Ralph's.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. It was an upstate.
Great. Apparently they did like a whole, they redid the sound.
Yeah. It gets hot up there, but yeah, it's an awesome room though, you know? So, and there's stairs, so I don't drink too much when I'm there because there's stairs. You know?
Oh my God, yo! Speaking of the apartment we lived above the fucking the bar. Oh my God, Will took like a bad spill one night. It might have been like New Year's Eve, and we had these steep stairs going up to our apartment, and like he just like bounced all the way down. And like the next week, he just had this giant bruise on his back. It was.
Oh man, that's where could people find you guys on social media? Where can they buy your record? Where can they find you on social, all that stuff?
I mean, if you look up just like, well, you could go to our Bandcamp and you could go to Sell the Heart's Bandcamp. He's got a big cartel. You could just type in Neckscars Unhinged into the internet and it'll pop up. If you're in the UK or like, you know, you could get it from Engineer Records, and then we have them at the shows. They've been selling well at the shows. We just did some Canadian shows. We actually brought them out there the week before the album came out, and
I was really happy with the actual. Andy did it with 33 grooves?
Yes.
And they like minimum. It's always 180 gram. Like that's the standard. So that was something I wanted, but I was like, it costs a little more money to, we try to keep the record prices as low as you can. But the fact that was like standard was like, and they came out like great. Like the golden wheat and the blue. It's definitely my favorite.
Yeah, I haven't bought the new record on vinyl yet. I'm trying to figure out which one I want because as you can see from behind me, I kind of collect them too. So like, and when I did the second pressing for the record club, I made sure I put myself one in there too. Cause even though I already had the record, so like that's my spinning one. And I've got the first pressing like tucked away right now, for like a little collector thing,
Ah, sick. Yeah.
I went a little overboard once I started collecting records. It's just like,
how many you got in your collection?
Oh man, I don't even know. I think I have like, as of right now, I have 350 logged, like in a book written.
Okay. I have the Discogs app, and that's a good way to keep track.
I think I had too many to start to do that. You know what I mean? I had probably, I know I have, I mean, if we're counting 7 inches too, I know I have like over 1,500 records.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But like, it's like, cause like I had bought a lot of 7 inches that were all like reggae singles and shit. So
that's
like,
great. Did you ever buy from Holdfast and that Holdfast Records in it closed, but it used to be in Asbury Park. But that guy, that was his specialty. Even though he had rock dude, he used to go to Kingston, Jamaica just to get.
Still does. He buys the plates.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah. This dude.
I went to Red Scroll Records today and I had a nice little haul.
Oh yeah, that place is sick.
I never been there. For someone that spent so much time in that area of Connecticut, I've never been there. But I was coming back from Worcester, and I was like, I'm right in Wallingford. I got to stop. So I went. I got some. I got the Haywire record. What else did I get? Justin, they have a run for cover section there, and I got the Berries.
Oh, sick!
He has a run for cover section. I was like, I was like, done.
That's awesome.
That. Yeah, great store. Super. The guy Justin I met today behind the counter, he gave me a map of the store. It was just awesome.
That's cool. That's so cool.
My new favorites. One of my new favorite spots.
Yeah, it rules. Love that store.
Yeah, so like I have right now. I use again like so I always like I am the website IMDb like the
yeah, of course, yeah.
So when that first started, it was just a guy who put his collection of DVDs and VHSs up there. And then he made it possible for people to it was like a Discogs, but for movies. And that's when I joined way back then. And I was trying to put all my DVDs in there, and it was just fucking too much. I just couldn't, it was just too overwhelming. So I'm a old man, and I like old school methods. So I have I use pen and paper for almost everything. So I have 2 logbooks, and I use a Dewey Decimal Point system for my records. And I've logged in and they're all the records I have logged in, they're not like the old ones, like the Beatles and the Cars, all that shit's just sitting down there. But all the records I buy that are new, I put them into the system. And I'm backed up right now. I think I have about 100 records that I need to put in still, that I haven't even listened to yet. It's just stupid that I have that many records that I haven't listened to yet. But when I go to a show, I'm like, oh, I need this. You know what I mean? I need this, I need that, and everything else. So yeah, so I have to really kind of take a weekend off from everything and finish cataloging because I did the first 100, and then I did 250 in a weekend. I just and I was listening to them as I was doing, and I had a guy on from Goldmine magazine. I don't know if you know of Goldmine. Goldmine's one of the oldest running vinyl record magazines that are still in print. And he told me what he does is every time he listens to a record, he writes on the index card when he listened to it. And I started doing that, so now I'm just doing all sorts of fucking crazy shit with this
Henry
stuff.
Rollins talks about that on I was listening to him on the Vinyl Guide podcast, and he talks about that he does he'll do on the insert he'll write letters to future listeners, and he'll write where he was when he bought it, blah blah, and he'll get home and he'll write all that. Okay, I bought this during this trip and blah blah. And he's I don't plan on ever selling my records, but he's I got to imagine at some point they're gonna end up in somebody else's hands, and that's
cool. I see. I appreciate shit like that. You
know?
I just don't know if I could do that for everything that I got. So
it's how much time do you got? That's everything.
Yeah. I'm backed up. I buy too many records, and I have a lot that haven't even been opened yet.
Yeah, same.
It's an impulse thing that I can't control.
Yeah, and I think that's where I'm at.
Yeah,
that's where I'm at, Will.
Do you know Shane Murphy from Hidden Tracks?
No.
He has a podcast as well. I was on his podcast, but it's a store in Boonton, New Jersey, and there's a little small venue in there too. You should check out his podcast and the Hidden Tracks podcast.
Hell yeah, I'm gonna check it out.
He's got he's got a great record store. It's definitely I got the 10 inches from the Ignorance is Bliss sessions from him, face to face.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I also got the new Ben Nichols solo LP.
Nice.
I haven't dove into yet, but I've listened on Spotify. It's fantastic.
I have I still have a couple so I buy test pressings too when I can find them, and I use this company that makes little plaque things, and I have them make a little tag for every test pressing. So anyway, I've got 2 test pressings I still have to put in a frame and hang and shit, and I'm running out of room, dude. I have shows sometimes here, and I had a show back in March, and I'm like, I felt like weird because everybody was like kind of looking at things and stuff. And I feel like I'm like this little like record museum, you know. And I just like I'm like, oh man, like look at all my things, and I'm just like, ugh. People are asking me about it. I'm like, yeah, you know, like I try to like not get too excited because again, I also don't have a lot of people at my house. So it's whenever I have a show is when someone comes over. So it's like, you know, I don't want to like burn anybody out with me like being overexcited about my records, you know.
Records are that's the best.
I remember when I was a kid I had some, and then I didn't for years, and then I started collecting them again, and then when I moved, I gave like almost all. So the record club that I have, it was originally someone else's, and I was a member of it. So like I gave away all my records except for the record club records that I had, and I kept those with me when I traveled. And because I moved to Tennessee, and then I moved to right outside of Pittsburgh, and then I came back to Massachusetts. So, but yeah, and like it's grown so much now since then. Like I wouldn't even know what the fuck to do if I had to leave.
Yeah.
Like
Justin, when me and Justin started playing music again, like he got me more into because he was like always buying records, and I had records, but like now I have like a lot of records.
Yeah,
it's just
it's a problem.
It is a problem. When I have 100 records I haven't opened yet, like to listen to, like I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, you know?
Yeah, they just like stack up, and you're like, and then
I
like,
get embarrassed if people come here and I don't have like room to put them, or I haven't put them somewhere because I haven't listened to them yet. I get embarrassed that I have like a stack. I had a stack sitting on top of that, and I moved it before the podcast because I was like, I can't just sit there. Like, I guess my giant head's in the way, but like in case it was in the shot, you know what I mean? Like, yeah.
So, and then you want to listen to some of them, like pay more attention. So you're like, okay, I want to play that record, and like, but then like you're like, you know, I didn't really give it a good listen, so I'm not going to put it away because I really want to like sit down with it and absorb it better. So you're like, I did listen to it, but I'm not done with it. And I don't want to just put it with all the other records. So like you're like, I gotta still keep it out so I can go back and really like soak it up.
Yeah, it's a thing. It's really a thing, you know. So you know who are big record collectors is the guys in Flatfoot 56.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Tobin?
yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I had them on, and we that's all like we talked about records, kind of like what we're doing right now, and like just how many, and like you know, like just trying to find like when you try to find a new one or something like that, because like I don't buy them for like value, you know what I mean? Like I buy them to listen to, like except like everyone that's in a frame, I have one that I listen to, and that just I wanted a frame for XYZ purpose, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
Yeah, it's like if I buy like a sealed record. Like I remember I got a Megadeth Rust in Peace sealed, and the guy's like, "You gonna break the seal? Like you gonna crack it?" And I was like, "Yeah, why the fuck wouldn't I? Like, what do you think I'm buying this for? You know what I mean? Like, I'm buying this so I could go home and listen to it. Yes, yes, I am breaking the seal.
Right on.
That's how I feel about guitars. Like, you really buy a really like nice guitar, and then it's like, I mean, maybe not take it on an airplane to go play a show in the night in like a gig bag, but like, you know, use it, you know. I remember I was delivering food once, and I went in this like mansion, and this like guy had like 10 like or more, maybe like just a glass thing filled of Les Pauls and ES335s, and I was like, wow, these are incredible. And he was like, they are? I just collect guitars. I'm like, you don't play them? No, they're just here. I was like, I just like walked away. I'm like, fuck that guy. It's like $100,000 gold top.
I know. Yeah. And he had no idea.
No. Well, he knew what they were. But...
Right. Yeah. Oh man. Well, listen, Will, Justin, thank you for doing this. Thanks for coming on, and I'm happy I finally got you guys on to talk about your.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Of course. Well, listen, when the next record comes, let's do this again. Let's have you back on. Let's talk. And I hope to see you guys soon.
You will.
You will.